Good evening, and welcome to the first night of the Lee College Virtual Travel Showcase. My name is Dana Garniopes, and I am the Assistant Director in the Center for Workforce and Community Development here at Lee College. Over the next 2 nights, we will explore 12 travel destinations. 6 are in the United States and 6 are abroad. Tonight, you will learn about 6 travel destinations that we will be going to in 2021. Tomorrow night from 6 to 8, we will cover our tours for 2022. I encourage you to sit back, to relax, and to start planning your next much needed vacation. After 2020, we all need something wonderful to look forward to. At this time, I would like to introduce Naomi Cooper, who is our new full-time Senior and Community Education Program Manager. Naomi, I turn it over to you.
Hi, welcome to everyone that's joined us. I'm so excited to have y'all all here this evening. Wish it was in person, but hopefully this is a good go-between. Like Dana said, I am a full-time program manager here at Lee College, and I work with the senior program as well as Lynn Foley. And I focus on day trips and courses, knitting, genealogy, things like that. And so I hope you all join me when all of that gets started back up after all this COVID mess is over and it's safe for us to do so. I have a few WebEx classes that I hold weekly. And so if you ever want any information about those things, you can email workforce@lee.edu. And that's also the email address that you'll email if you have any questions about the presentation tonight. So as the different vendors are presenting tonight, if you have a question that doesn't get answered, please feel free to email that address. And again, it's workforce@lee.edu. And also you can call during our regular business hours, and that phone number is 281-425-6311. And also on a limited basis, COVID safe, you are going to be able to come into the center as well if you need help to register for any of these trips. So what we request to keep everyone safe is that you call the phone number, which I'll give again in just a second, and you set up an appointment, and then we'll have you come in small numbers. We can have up to 3 people at a time, and then we'll be able to assist you at that point. So if you want to write the number down or get ready to write that number down, the appointments are Monday and Tuesday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Wednesday and Thursday from, back up. On Monday and Tuesday, it's 9 to 5. And on Wednesday and Thursday, it's 10 to 6. And then the number you call is 281-425-6311. And that number is also on our website if you need to go back to it for reference. So that's all I have. And so I'm going to turn it over now to Lynn Foley, who has been in charge of the travel group now for 30 years. And she's also over the next couple of years, will be running the trips that are going to be presented tonight. So take it away, Lynn.
So good evening, everybody. I am so excited to see you. Last year, at this exact time, we were just returning from Iceland, which was our last tour of the round of 2019. And probably 2 weeks before that, we had presented our travel showcase, the 2020 travel showcase of 6 tours by Premier World Discovery and Colette. And they were awesome tours, and you're going to hear how some of them have been rescheduled. I want to give a big shout out to my travel advisory committee and my core volunteers that helped me in deciding the tours. They helped present everything last year. So you guys wave to yourself, give yourself a virtual hug. John and Carolyn James, Sally Bargainer, Lynn Kempley, Roxy Appenberger, Sharon Terrell, and Linda Richardson, Denton, and Carol Dilling. I want to thank all of these people. They helped prepare all of the tours for the next 2 years. They gave their input. They did lots of research. Then the way it happens is everything is written up by our department, and then it is presented to our purchasing department, and then it goes to our Board of Regents. And again, we thank our Board of Regents for approving these 12 tours, 6 for 2021 and 6 for 2022. Just a little history. We started traveling internationally in 1989. And I have been working with Collect Vacations continuously during that time. And for the last 15 or 20 years, we've been working with Premier World Discovery. All of them just awesome vendors. And next year, for the first time, we'll be welcoming Mayflower Cruises. And I will introduce that vendor tomorrow night. So lots of funny stories I can tell you. I might tell you a few tomorrow night, but I know you're very, very anxious for the rollout this year. So without further ado, I'm going to first introduce my dear friend, Lanny Landis. Lanny is with Premier World Discovery. He's high up there on the chain of command, been working for has been in the travel industry for 22 years. He's lucky enough to have traveled to 46 countries. He said that the Galapagos Islands are on his bucket list, and Lanny, they're on my bucket list, so maybe we'll go together. He has 2 daughters and a beautiful wife. His daughters are 27 and 24, and he lives in Little Rock. Then he will be also tag teaming with his newest associate, who is Kimberly Torres. And Kimberly has a very interesting background. She's worked in travel for over 10 years. She said she loves her mama and she loves her sweet tea. She's a good Southern girl. But she's also lived and worked on cruise ships. She's a former NBC sports and news reporter, and I have watched her on YouTube. So you might want to go looking for her. She's very capable. And she worked at the Grand Hotel, or the Grand Ole Opry. I think she has a good voice too. So without further ado, I'm going to turn the program over to Kimberly and Lanny.
Awesome. All right. Thank you, Lynn. Appreciate that. I'm going to go ahead and as I'm talking, Kimberly's going to switch over on the share the screen. But I definitely want to thank Lynn. Thank you so much for everything that you do. I also want to thank everyone there at Lee College. I know you guys have put a lot of hard work into this virtual travel showcase to make it a reality and hopefully a success as well. We definitely value our long relationship with Lee College. Like I said, it's been at least 15 years. We've done a lot of great, fantastic trips. Really happy. I know I've been traveling to Houston for a lot of that. I've been to a number of the travel showcases. You can just have a lot of great travelers that really have a lot of fun on your trips. It's always so exciting to come in there and hear all the stories about the past trips and how everyone gets all excited about the new trips coming on down the pike. I do want to just share just a little bit about Premier World Discovery. We are in our 21st year now. We are a member of a lot of different organizations. Probably the most important one is USTOA, the United States Tour Operators Association. That's kind of like the good housekeeping seal of approval. They vet their companies, make sure that they're sound financially, and that they're just really good providers of travel. And that's really what we want to be. The part of the main thing about Premier, we're a little unique. We're not a retail product. And you're not just going to walk into a travel agency and just grab one of our tours off the shelf. So, we specialize in groups such as Lee College. So we're really excited to continue that partnership. I know some of the main questions that a lot of people may have tonight might be COVID and how that's treating the travel industry and how it might affect these types of trips. Premier, like most travel companies, have made a commitment to wellness. And so for our tours, and we've actually had, for the past couple of months, we've had a few tours operating. We've operated a number of tours. And this is kind of how we're operating the tours today. April, when the first tour operates for next year and on into next year, this is it's kind of a moving target here, and some of these may change. It may loosen up a little bit. We may not have to do all of these steps, but these are the commitments that we've made today. We're going to do a pre-tour health screening. We're going to ask that all the travelers just basically complete a small wellness declaration. Just make sure that everyone coming on the tour is healthy and is able to have a good time on the tour. Our tour directors have all gone through an enhanced training. We want to make sure that they understand what's expected, of these tours today. Make sure that everyone is physical distancing, and just, if anything were to come up, any unexpected situations, we want to make sure our tour directors can handle those if they did come up. As you can expect, we're going to operate some smaller groups. We're going to have a little more room on each coach. We want to have some open seats. We want to allow everyone to kind of space out a little bit more, have a more comfortable and safe experience. Right now, we are requiring face coverings. So on the airplane or anytime you can't socially distance, that's going to be where the face coverings will be required. If we're outside and we're touring and there's plenty of room, you don't have to wear it then. But we're just gonna, like I said, just make sure that everyone feels safe and enjoys the tour. All the motor coaches that we use are going to be sanitized often. There are going to be some regular cleanups of all the high touch areas with disinfecting wipes. Just make sure that everything is safe there. And you may notice just some changes with the tour experiences, mainly just with social distancing. We're going to try to do everything where we can just spread out just a little bit more. We're excited to take part in this virtual travel showcase, the first one of its kind. We do want to kind of kick it off just and let everybody know we do have 3 specials. First of which is if you choose one of these tours and you sign up, you're going to get 50% off the deposit amount. You only have to put down half the deposit to hold your seat. So that's per person. And then you'll also have the insurance, the travel protection plan. You'll put that down as well, but the deposit amount will only be $150. So that's if you register within 3 days of this show, you'll get half off that deposit. And keep in mind, one of our new policies is that deposit is fully refundable. So all the way until final payment, which is on domestic tours like we're promoting tonight, that deposit is 75 days. The final payment is 75 days before departure. So if anything at all were to come up, you decide you don't want to go, you can't go, you're going to get that deposit amount and the waiver premium. You're going to get that back as well. And then also we're doubling the booking discount. So our booking discount, which is kind of a pay by check discount at final payment, instead of $100, it's now going to be $200. So we're really excited to be able to share that with everyone. And hopefully everyone will be excited to go on some trips for 2021. I'm going to turn it over to Kimberly and let her go over our actual tours they were operating. Kimberly, take it over.
All right. Thank you so much, Lanny. Okay, so Lee College made no mistake when they chose to travel domestically in 2021. Straight ahead, we are going in April, guys. We're getting this going right away. You'll spend 6 days, 5 nights experiencing superior scenery and unusual rock formations. So get ready, pack those bags for the national parks and canyons of the Southwest Tour. You're going to fly in and out of Las Vegas. We're going to have some meals on this tour, of course. The meals are going to be themed out. That's another part of our Premier World experience. Is we've got farewell meals and welcome meals as well. And those meals, of course, again, are themed out. Again, we're going to be flying in and out of Las Vegas. Some of the highlights right there, I'm going to get going in those here in a bit. Every time you wake up in a hotel, you are getting breakfast. No problem with that. We got 8 meals going on this tour. And hey, let's just get right into it, right? So welcome to Las Vegas. Welcome back, right, to the Strip. The Strip is going to be home for the next couple of nights after a city tour, which will be taking you to downtown Vegas. You'll have plenty of leisure time. Don't worry about that. In fact, a full day, I believe. So you should try taking in a show, right? Taking a show, shoot for the mountains and a round of golf at Sin City's top golf greens. Maybe try one of our optional tours, which is going to be at the Mob Museum or Hoover Dam. Now, that Mob Museum, I must say, if you haven't been there, USA Today says that museum is a can't-miss treasure in Vegas. And then, oh my goodness, we are going to be off to the Grand Canyon West and the Skywalk. Ladies and gentlemen, everybody wants to go to the Skywalk. This is a 70-foot-long horseshoe-shaped bridge that extends out from the canyon wall to give you a floating view of this Grand Canyon. Now, okay, not going to mix words about this, but you're going to be over 4,000 feet high in the sky, and only 4 layers of glass is all that separates you from the bottom. But you know what? Look at there. There's no worries with that. Absolutely not. It's the Grand Canyon. It's exhilarating, to say the least. And since you're here, why not stay on to lunch? That's right. Included in this tour is going to be lunch at the Grand Canyon. What I mean by that is you will be lunching at one of the 7 wonders of the world. Talk about bucket list. Talk about bragging rights when you get back home. And I tell you, even the drive around the Nevada and southwestern Utah area is fabulous and fun. Mesquite, Nevada is going to be the home for the rest of the tour, and it's going to be making it easy access to get to this, the dramatic and most spectacular sights of Bryce Canyon National Park in southwestern Utah. The park is home to the largest concentration of colorful hoodoos. Okay, here's a quick lesson. Hoodoos are those fires that you're seeing right there, those rock formations. They're called hoodoos, and they have the largest concentration right here in the world, right here in our backyard. So this sea of red, orange, and white colors is simply marvelous, and it goes on for nearly 15 miles. The hoodoos, if you get a chance, get down a little bit closer because they stand almost 800 feet. Wow. Then one day, we're going to visit a treasure of the West, Zion National Park. Yes, this park is also included. Even the drive out to Zion will have you eager and antsy to stop for photo ops. Now, because we have some of the best tour guides in the business, they know the best spots. So they are fully trained, and most of the time, these are fully trained tour guides. They live in the actual areas. So they're experts. They're going to know exactly when and where to stop. So you won't have to be bugging them at all saying, hey, let's stop, let's stop. They are going to know. But patience is a virtue, guys. And this tour is not going to disappoint. By tram, you'll visit the park's most notable formations like Angel's Landing. Now, it was given its name back in 1916 when a group passing through the canyon commented and said, you know what, only an angel could land on top of that formation. And that formation is right there at your upper right and lower right. That's Angel's Landing right there. Also, you may see along this tram tour Weeping Rock. That's your upper left right there. It's an impressive natural system where water seeps or weeps out of an alcove, keeping lush hanging gardens just incredibly spring-fed. The geology of Zion represents over 150 million years of sedimentation. And I tell you what, this rock formation right here, it's called the Watchman. It is going to be watching over you as you dine and have dinner out here at Zion National Park. Again, bragging rights, guys. Oh, but the oohing and the awing does not stop there. No, before you fly home, check this out. You are going to take a spin around Valley of Fire State Park. Now, this is Nevada's oldest and largest state park. And people, 3 words, be camera ready. There you go. OMG, this finale is going to show you Elephant Rock, which is right there in the middle. It's going to show you Valley of the Arch down at the lower right, and the sand dune and rock swirl, super impressive. And of course, the Valley of the Rock piano rock. I mean, you have to have your cameras on hand for this. These snapshots you will not want to miss. And you're going to have all of this and loads more. Again, we're just doing a little snack, a little appetizer of what you can expect on these tours, because you're going to expect this and so much more. And it's all included on the national parks and canyons of the Southwest tour. So pack your bags, y'all. This is bucket list worthy, I'm telling you. So, okay, here we go. Weather in April here in the Las Vegas and Mesquite area. Look at that. Not bad whatsoever. 78, 81. A jacket, maybe a light one. So that's great weather right there. And here you go. Here's your pricing. Okay, so like Lanny said earlier, we are going to be doing the some discounts, the $200 discount. So the regular flyer rate is $24.60. But again, if you sign up within the next 3 days from now until Thursday, you will get you'll be qualified for that $200 off instead of just $100, which will bring it down to $22.60. That's amazing. Now, these rates, they do include round trip airfare from Houston, taxes, and of course the trip insurance as well, all bundled into that one price. Now, for 6 days, 5 nights, it's a lovely price. It's lovely. And this is a great stepping stone back into travel from the crazy time that we've had thus far. Now, again, you're going to have to make that booking discount to get the $200 off by check for final payment. And here you go. Your final payment due date is February 1st. Now, like Lanny said earlier, we're doing risk-free deposits. So ladies and gentlemen, if you're a little nervous about going ahead and putting your deposit in right now, don't be. It's risk-free. Instead of $300, sign up in the next 3 days, and it's only $150, and you are eligible to get that right back if your worries continue. You'll get that right back so long as you alert us before that February 1st, 2021. And it's simple, it's easy. And then you get to go on this amazing tour, ladies and gentlemen. It's amazing. Now, again, like I said, your travel protection plan is included. It's bundled into that plan, into that payment. So what that means is this is peace of mind, basically. You're buying peace of mind, ladies and gentlemen. Lee College is providing you peace of mind before and during the trip. So this is going to be a great thing to have. And thank you to them for including that in. All right, here we go. We are going to be going to Black Hills Badlands and Legends of the West. Now this, once again, they did such a great job in choosing these. This is going to be in June, 7 days. We are flying in and out of Rapid City, South Dakota. Ladies and gentlemen, it's one hotel stay. Your meals are also included. You got 6 breakfasts, 4 dinners. Again, those dinners and lunches and breakfasts are all themed out according to which tour you are taking. So, welcome to Rapid City. You all right? Again, only one hotel. We're going to be in the Holiday Inn. It's a fabulous hotel, and we are not going to mess around. We are rushing you right out to Mount Rushmore. You're going to stand front and center of the colossal structure of Mount Rushmore. Now, it took 14 years to complete this project, and actually each president, if you didn't know a little bit of trivia, each president was actually supposed to be depicted from waist to head, but they ran out of money. As we always do, right? They ran out of money. So then they only did 60-foot tall heads. Now that's a huge monument anyway. I can't imagine how much it took to do the waist as well, but 60 feet high these heads are, and 60 feet long, or the height of these heads are 60 feet. It's amazing. Now your professional guide is going to be letting you know a little bit about some secrecy. Because did you know that there is a chamber of secrets behind Abraham Lincoln's head? Yeah, make sure you ask one of our expert tour guides about that, a little bit more about that. You're also going to cruise over to Crazy Horse Memorial, which is under construction even to this day. It's supposed to look like the picture that you see to your left, but it looks more like what you see to that upper right there. But it's a sight to see nevertheless. Now, when completed, it will be over 600 feet tall. And it's depicting the Native American warrior Crazy Horse riding his trusty steed, pointing to his tribal land. Now, Crazy Horse gained much respect, taking up arms against the United States federal government to fight the encroachment by white American settlers. That's why he is getting his own memorial right there. That's Crazy Horse. And then this is what I love, ladies and gentlemen. I like a little danger in some of my tours, right? Don't we like a little bit of danger? So mount up for some wild game and adventure at Custer State Park, where you're going to enjoy a wild buffalo jeep safari. You are literally going to get so close with these. You could probably reach out your hand to these buffalo and bison and pet one. That's how close you're going to get. These are amazing beasts. And of course, you're going to stick around this park and dine at the State Game Lodge. Now, the meals here, hey, if they were good enough for President Eisenhower, I'm sure they're going to be pretty good for you too. Now, word to the wise. My suggestion, I'm told that the bison burger or pot roast is a winner. Now wrap that up with some yummy bread pudding, and you got my tummy growling right now. Next, we're going to take a spin around the sacred and highly regarded Devil's Tower National Monument. Now, trust me, you're going to be surprised as to how it actually got its name. That is Devil's Tower, the picture on the left there. Make sure you ask that expert tour guide how it got its name. But then you're going to motor over to the historic Deadwood, South Dakota. Now, this place is super unique for maintaining its 19th century frontier architecture. Now, get this. Most of these buildings were completed before 1900. So, ladies and gentlemen, be sure to have your boots and spurs on hand because you'll be walking the same streets as Wyatt Earp, Calamity Jane, and Wild Bill Hickok. Yeah, they walked those streets. And then wild horses rule. Absolutely, they rule, especially here at the 5,000-acre Black Hills Wild Horse Sanctuary. What began as a major life decision to save 80 horses. Now, I called and I asked the story personally to the owners of this sanctuary. What began as a life decision to save 80 wild horses from being destroyed has now turned into a life's mission, and over 300 horses are running wild and free. Ladies and gentlemen, the point here is that they're running and they're alive. These horses are descendants of Spanish horses brought to the New World in the 1500s by conquistadors. Keep the tissues handy as you'll hear some of their stories. I mean, come on, who would orphan some of these glorious babies, right? Oh, and this is a treat, a fantastic treat. On the tour, you're going to stop. You have to stop at the internationally renowned Wall Drug. Well, it's called Wall Drug Store, but everybody knows it as Wall Drug. It's a collection of cowboy-themed stores and restaurants. Be sure to get a picture with the 80-foot brontosaurus that they have on hand there. This is going to be this entire walkway of stores. It is the entire downtown for Wall, South Dakota. It's amazing. And then Badlands National Park. This park is going to wow you with its formations, layered rocks, rugged peaks. The photo ops are endless. You'll literally begin seeing formations on the drive over. Like after you leave Wall Drug, you'll start seeing these formations. And when you're there, they're going to seem like, what's the best way to describe them? Life-sized sandcastles. Yes, life-sized sandcastles. You might even get a glimpse of bighorn sheep or other native animals there. Ask the guide if you want to. If there's time, ask the guide to see the prairie dogs along the way. They'll know exactly what we're talking about. And then here's the word to the wise again. Watch Dances with Wolves right before going on this tour because we are taking you to Fort Hays. Fort Hays is where they filmed part of the movie. So you're going to be on a film set. This is going to be such a fantastic, because then if you watch the movie beforehand, you'll see it, you'll know what pictures to take, you'll know what poses to make, and then when you come back home, you have the bragging rights and the movie to boot, right? How about that? And then a chuck wagon supper and cowboy show. I mean, if we're already in the Western theme, why wouldn't we have a themed out dinner and do a chuck wagon supper and cowboy show? Of course we would. Oh, but then, hey, train ride, anybody? Yeah, of course, why not? One morning, you're going to board the 1880 train. Now, this is a nostalgic excursion, and it has a 100-year-old engine. It's going to take you 20 miles in 2 hours between Hill City and Keystone. It's completely narrated the whole way. You're going to cross over wooden trusses and see vibrant vistas. This is really going to take you back to when the only transportation were trains back when. This is fabulous. And not only will you witness the treasure that is Mount Rushmore by day, but look, by night. Now, pictures can say a lot of things, but when you are there standing front and center of our forefathers at twilight, at nighttime, it's patriotic. Yeah, honestly, we've had some people comment that they even, cried a little tear, and it was even more emotional for some reason at nighttime. So this is going to be fantastic, ladies and gentlemen. It's Rushmore, it's rocks, it's animals on the range. This tour is jam-packed with adventure and incredible sights. That's Black Hills, Badlands, and Legends of the West tour and Mount Rushmore at night. All right, here is your weather. So June 9th through the 15th of 2021, 7 days, 6 nights, all one hotel. That means you unpack once and let it go from there. We are going to be there in June. Look at that. 77. Again, perfect weather. What is it? What's happening here in Texas around June? Yeah, 90s. I think we deserve a little reprieve and go up to South Dakota and have a little 77 action there. All right, and here is your pricing. Regular flyer rate, $35.60 per person double. Now with the booking discount, again, signing up within the next 3 days, it's down to $33.60, and that includes the round trip airfare from Houston, your taxes, that travel protection plan. Again, make sure you sign up within the next 3 days and make your final payment by check. So when is that final payment, right? Well, there you go. March 26th is that final payment. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, your risk-free deposit on all of my tours, all of our tours, Premier World Discovery tours that we are doing, we're going to have risk-free deposit. Meaning, again, if you just have a bad hair day or something, go ahead and call us up and you will get fully refunded completely. So don't think of it as, oh, I don't know if we should travel right now. Do it. You know you want to, and it's about time. 2020 was reserved for us staying indoors. 2021 is reserved for us getting out into our own country. So going ahead and putting in our deposit within the next 3 days, it goes from 300 to 150. That should make it a little less scary about that, right? And again, your final payment is March 26, 2021. All right, now this is a favorite, and I tell you what, all of the tours that Lee College did choose from Premier World Discovery, they just happen to be on our passengers' preferred list. They are our most popular tours, and this is no different. It's 9 days. It's the Colorado Rockies, it's Rails, and it's Western National Parks, August 15th through the 23rd of 2021. You're going to pack your bags, guys, because you're headed to this area. It's a heavy favorite once again amongst previous travelers. We're going in and out of Denver. We have 8 breakfasts and 3 dinners. Once again, you are waking up to breakfast every morning that you wake up in a hotel, and our dinners and lunches are themed out. So welcome to Vail Village. I just watched a Hallmark movie. I'm sure y'all are watching your Hallmark movies also, and it happened to be set in Vail Village, and I just started thinking about you guys and thinking about how much fun you're going to have. We are going to Vail, Colorado, and this is a treat. Now, this young town was constructed with 2 things in mind, that's skiing and Bavaria. So here's the deal. Since we are doing mainly domestic tours, Lee College got smart and was thinking, you know what, we want to have a little hint of international travel, right? So this is what we have done for you. Premier World Discovery is bringing Bavaria, bringing Austria, bringing Germany right to your backyard and taking you to Vail Village. Now, the architects here, they thought the Rockies looked so much like the Alps that they created this entire Bavarian-inspired village in Colorado. It's completely closed off to cars and buses. It offers gondola rides, ice skating, the Austrian and German inspired shops, restaurants, and bars. Who isn't going to love that? I know my daddy would. There's no need to travel internationally when you've got Bavaria right here in the States, guys. And this tour is going to have you traverse the terrains of 4 national parks. And they all have their own identity and distinctiveness. Take Canyonlands National Park. Okay, the one below. Now, it's the largest in Utah. So we're going to be in Utah now. It looks like a series of canyons just kind of stretched across. You know, it's got a little bit of hoodoo action there, but you see, it looks like a series of canyons just stretched across the Colorado Plateau. It's like the wind blew this rock-like sculpture garden into existence. Now, the soaring sandstone spires, the canyon labyrinth, and formations like Mesa Arch makes this park a red rock wonderland, and it's not to be missed. Wind, water, and gravity have been the prime architects of this land, sculpting layers of rock into the rugged landscape that you see today. Now, unlike Canyonlands, where you look down to see all the red rock eye candy, at Arches National Park, which is the three pictures up ahead, here you're going to be looking up at everything. So again, Canyonlands, you look down, Arches, you're looking up at everything. So here are more than 2,000 arches. And again, we've got fabulous tour guides, so they know exactly which arches are going to be easier to get to. So we've got 2,000 arches and amazing rock features that stretch your neck for the well-known, maybe like a delicate arch that you see right there. In fact, most of the sandstone arches and other rock formations, well, they're a little precarious because they are built, or they were formed on top of a delicate salt bed underneath. Now, this park contains the highest density of natural arches in the world. And then look at those fins right there as well. This is red rock eye candy and just amazing formations to be had right here. Now, again, I said 4 national parks, right? Here are the other 2. Archaeological ruins are the focus at Mesa Verde National Park. Those are the 3 pictures up top. Mesa Verde, which is Spanish for green table, offers a spectacular look into the lives of ancestral Pueblo people who made this region their home back in the 7th century. That's right, I said 7th. Now there are thousands of these ruins built along top edges of the canyon walls and within alcoves. The most well known of these cliff dwellings is the balcony house. Okay, that's the one that you see to the left, your balcony house, which contains over 200 rooms and is pretty accessible. But don't worry, again, because we have our top-notch tour guides with you, you're not going to miss any of the impressive ruins, like the notorious Cliff Palace. Now, the Cliff Palace is a little tougher to get to because it's built into a cliff, but you will be able to see it from down below. Those of y'all who may be a little bit more adventurous, maybe you can get up there. I wouldn't suggest it, but your tour guide will at least be able to point it out to you. And unlike the other national parks, Mesa Verde earned its status from its ancient cultural history rather than its geological treasures. And then, well, you can guess what's unique about Great Sand Dunes National Park, right? In the middle of Colorado stands the tallest sand dunes in North America. Now, you wouldn't think that mixing sand dunes and the Rocky Mountains would be a beautiful and diverse landscape, but my goodness, right? Look at that. It's like, again, taking it internationally, it's like a mini version of the Sahara Desert at the base of white-capped mountains, right? Doesn't it kind of evoke that a little bit? The Great Sand Dunes extend over 30 miles and 19,000 acres. It was Mother Nature's weather cocktail of wind, streams, drought, and sand that created this marvel 440,000 years ago. This started getting into place, really. Oh, but it's not all about the parks, guys. This tour includes not 1, but 2 train excursions. Check out the 1881 coal-fired, steam-powered Durango and Silverton Narrow Gauge Railroad. Now, the rail journey goes through the San Juan National Forest for views of wildlife and waterfalls, and of course, the majestic peaks. Now, these are the same tracks that miners and cowboys, settlers of the Old West, they took over a century ago. You'll be able to relive history with the sights and sounds of yesteryear for a truly spectacular journey. You're going to see why. I'm telling you, you're going to see why this rail was voted one of the world's top 10 most exciting train rides. It's going to be fabulous. And then, you've got your Royal Gorge. It's all aboard again. This time you're going to journey through Colorado's Royal Gorge and look up from 1,000 feet below to see America's Bridge, which is the Royal Gorge Bridge. Now, you're going to peer through expansive windows to the pristine views throughout Colorado's grandest canyon. If you're looking for a close-up personal experience, step outside to the open air car where you'll take in Mother Nature's handiwork and the Arkansas River washing through a high plateau of igneous rocks. Now, let me tell you, just to give you an idea, the world famous Chrysler Building, located in New York City, could easily be placed beneath the Royal Gorge Bridge. That's how tall and how high and how low you're going to be. But this is going to be fabulous, guys. I walked the Royal Gorge Bridge when I was 15, but I tell you what, I would have much rather seen it by train. This is going to be fantastic. And then you're going to go to the U.S. Olympic. Wait, hold on. Let me try that again, right? Next, you're going to go to the Olympic Training Center. I know it's a little silly, for a lesson in strength and conditioning. Now, find out why close to 600 coaches and athletes, they go there to realize Olympic dreams. The facility is able to provide housing, dining, recreational, all kinds of things and services for those folks. Now, during this walking tour, you are going to be able to see the weightlifting and wrestling facilities, the aquatic center, which I'm sure our golden boy Michael Phelps trained to become the world's best, of course, and other areas. You'll explore the U.S. Olympic Hall of Fame Rotunda and shop even. Yes, they do have a gift shop at the USA or the Team USA store. And of course, we're going to be going to the U.S. Air Force Academy. The cool thing here is just the look of it. I mean, look at that architecture right there. The chapel that you see at the upper right, we're going to be taking you inside there. It's really all about the architecture and everything you can learn about the U.S. Air Force Academy and what these folks have to go through. And to graduate from here, this is going to be very exciting and very eye-opening for everyone. Now, one evening, you will tempt your tummy, and while others tickle the guitar strings at the Bar D Chuck Wagon Supper and Western Stage Show, that's a mouthful, literally. It's fun-loving, down-home great times at this Durango dining experience. Now, whether you ride the mini short rail or peruse the village gift shops or pan for gold, you're going to keep yourself busy prior to supper time. Now, they've got a blacksmith shop, a chocolate shop, a shooting gallery, and a cowboy chapel all there on site. Again, our dinners, our lunches, our meals are themed out. This is right in line with kind of a cowboy theme right there. You're going to have all this and so much more etched in your memories bank when you choose the Colorado Rockies Rails and Western National Parks Tour. Now, here we go. We are looking at temperatures in August. Check that out. 90 in Grand Junction, 83, 80s. What is it here in Texas? Triple digits. A nice reprieve. Lee College, you did an amazing job. We're doing 9 days, 8 nights here in the Colorado Rockies. Those of y'all who do have your vouchers for this, keep those vouchers and just keep on shopping because that's what we're doing. Some of y'all got vouchers. We're just shopping tours right now, right? All right, and here is your rate. So regular rate, and this is 2021 rates, we are looking at $37.10. Now with your booking discount, of course, $35.10. All of our pricing includes round trip airfare from Houston, your taxes, and that insurance. Make sure you make that final payment by check so that you can get that $200 off. Remember, you want to go ahead and sign up in 3 days, within 3 days from now. That way you do get that $200 off instead of just $100. And you have that risk-free deposit. And it's 50% off the deposit. So again, we're taking a sigh of relief. We're being just really just very mindful really about the money and the concerns that you have. Premier World Discovery is helping you, and make sure you sign up by Thursday of this week, and your due date or your final payment date is due June 1, 2021 for the full refund. Again, that's 75 days before departure. Ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be fantastic. I know that we have so much more to get to, so I'm going to go ahead and send it over to Miss Lynn and have her introduce your next presenter. Thank you so much.
Hi, everybody. I'm back to give you a few future details on some of the tours before I introduce our Colette vendor, Kenny Judd. One of the things I forgot to tell you is included in the price of everything is round trip airport transportation from the back of the college, back from the at the end of the tour. Security will meet us. It will be very safe. We'll ask you to have your family members meet you. But if not, you can come in the building with me and wait for somebody. But we'll talk about all that at some of our meetings. So get out your pen and pencil. There are 4 things that I did want to tell you about. One is that we always have a pre-tour meeting. And the pre-tour meeting is usually between 2 to 3 months out from the departure of the tour. So that means our first tour, which is in April, we will have a meeting either the end of January or sometime in February. And then you will get to meet all your fellow travelers. We will get all the details on the itinerary. We'll talk about airport transportation. We'll talk more about our COVID protocol. And I'll give you a lot of good details at that time. Then, number 2, we have a documents meeting, and that is 2 to 3 weeks before the tour departs. You will receive your documents from the vendor, but you will bring them with you to the college. We'll open them and we'll go over them page by page. Also, the college may give you something like a fan or a clipboard or something, a lanyard to wear around your neck to identify you as a Lee College traveler. So that will be fun. And then the last detail that you can write down right now is that we always have an after tour party. And that is something that my husband and I started years ago. So we'll have you to our home. We'll serve you a little wine or some other special drink, and then everybody will bring potluck, meaning appetizers or hors d'oeuvres. We will sit and watch videos of our trip, videos that we took. We will look through scrapbook albums. We'll look through loose photos that you may want to bring and share with your other friends. And at that time, we will also share emails and phone numbers if you so choose. And so, without further ado now, I would like to introduce to you, for 32 years, I have worked with Colette Vacations. Kenny will probably tell you they are a 3rd generation family-owned business that has been operating for about 103 years. But Kenny himself has worked for Colette for about 10 years. And he is a national sales director. He's over the central part of the United States. Kenny is quite athletic, lives on a lake in Hot Springs, Arkansas, went to the University of Oklahoma, played baseball. He's traveled all over the world. I think he's almost caught up to Lanny Landis. He's got 40 plus tours. Maybe he'll go on the Galapagos Islands with Kenny, Lanny, and me. That would be fun, wouldn't it? So without further ado, here's Kenny Judd.
Thank you, Lynn. I appreciate it. That's right. I can swing by and grab Lanny on the way to the airport. So I want to thank everybody. You know, I've had the opportunity. I'm used to seeing a crowd full of people when we do these presentations, but I truly appreciate everybody being flexible. You know, we have a couple of tours. And the first one we're going to start off with is Greece. And, you know, I'm going to talk a little bit about, just like Lanny and Kimberly did, who did a great job of kind of explaining the new protocols that everybody's going through. You know, we're excited about this. We were the first tour operator to start operating again back in July. And we've had phenomenal reviews with the way that we're operating, with the way that we're executing it. And I'm just happy to be talking about travel. So I'm really excited to get started. We have 2 tours, Greece and its islands, that are going to be September 9th through the 23rd. And then we're going to follow that up with autumn in Vermont. A little bit of love for me. I used to live up in Massachusetts, which I'll talk about. So I am the regional director of sales. I'm about to hit my 10th year with Colette. I've had the opportunity to travel all over the world. I can tell you that Greece blew me away. I was there last April, and I can't talk enough about how much I fell in love with the destination and the food and how amazing it is. But there's two quotes I always start off with because I left medical sales and people always ask me, why did you get into travel? What is it? And these two quotes kind of sum it up for me. Number one, the best book I have read is Between the Pages of My Passport. I feel stronger about that than ever. Taking the 7-8 month break that we have, I'm ready to get back. I'm excited about travel. And for salespeople and for people who talk as much as we do, we're giving these presentations. Travel is the only thing that can make you speechless, only to become a storyteller later. I'll talk a little bit about that with Acropolis. I have a degree in history, so I really fall in love with not just the travel aspect, but also the history behind that. The Traveling Well experience, I definitely want to touch on. As I mentioned, we were the first tour operator to come back and really start running these tours. And it was a time that a lot of people were unsure of. We've selected very specific destinations. What are we doing? Some of those are smaller groups. Our tour managers are up to date on all of the training, the PPE equipment, the CDC regulations. We're following all of those. The masks, really when we're in enclosed areas, that being the motor coach, restaurants, until you're eating, things like that. The motor coach, all of our vendors must meet all of our protocols that we have set. I talked a little bit about the surveys. Since our surveys have come back, we have been blown away that 90% have not only said that they would travel again, but they traveled this year with us because of not just the protocols that we set in place, but also the enhancement of the tour. They didn't feel like it was taken away from them. They had a great time. 90% said they would travel again this year. So we were really excited about that. On tour coverage, which we'll talk about in a minute. Just some of the things that we recommend when we send out of our documents, obviously the maintain physical distancing, bringing your mask, monitoring your symptoms. All of those things are important. I think that's something that we've all come accustomed to really doing every day anyway. So that's one of the things. And of course, washing your hands, always very important. And, some of the things that we've done is without a doubt, making sure that the training on tour for the tour managers, the PPE collateral, the motor coaches. One of the things, and I'm sure Lanny and Kimberly will agree with me, is, we travel around a lot. We stay in a lot of hotels. And one of the things that I'm most excited about is moving forward as travelers, we're going to have the cleanest traveling experience that we've ever had. And so for me, if you put on a 60 Minutes, I'm not looking behind the scenes. I don't want to know. I don't want to see any of that. But I'm so excited. I actually was in Kansas last week. I stayed in a hotel. I could smell how clean it was. They had signs all over the place of where they had just cleaned it. My remote was inside of a plastic bag showing that they had wiped it down. For me, that really gets me excited and really puts a lot of the fears that I've had aside, because I know moving forward, as we all have, travel is going to be the cleanest possible. So who are we? We are the oldest major U.S. tour operator. We are now the second oldest tour operator in the world. As Lynn mentioned, we are a family-owned and operated business based out of New England into our third generation. We've got our fourth generation who will probably be cutting checks for us down the line somewhere and bossing me around, which I look forward to. But some of the things that we really try to focus on when we talk about travel, there's three things to me that really make or break a tour. Number one is your tour manager. If you have a bad tour manager, you're going to have a bad tour. There's just no way around it. And in fact, all of our surveys and data say exactly that. And so we really focus on making sure that our tour managers are kind of half your history professor, half your concierge. I have had the opportunity to tour manage, and I can tell you without a doubt, it is the most challenging job in the industry. Trying to make 40 people happy with 40 different personalities, I'm telling you, is a bit of a balancing act, but our tour managers do a tremendous job and they love what they do. They have a true passion for it. Number two, your hotel accommodations. Where are you staying? We never say city center because we're not always in the center of the city, but I can tell you they are very strategic to the flow of the tour, where we're going to be staying when you have leisure time. What do you have available to you? And of course, maybe the third and most important part of any of the tours that I travel on is my culinary experience. And we're going to get you out in those local restaurants, hosted meals, cooking demonstrations, You know, you can eat every single meal at a hotel. I've traveled all over the world, and eating a hamburger in a hotel in Greece is the same as eating one in Kansas City. So we want to make sure that you really get out there and immerse yourself in the culinary aspects of the tour. And so those are the three pillars that we really try to focus on and make sure that we stand out with. You know, always the worry-free vacation, travel, transportation. We really do have the most seasoned team in guided travel. And what we mean by that is, you know, we're not just throwing a few tours together. We really try to perfect the pacing of the tour. We have product managers that are out there building the product from the ground up, staying in the hotels, walking the walk, eating the food, doing the things that you're going to be doing to make sure that we can deliver that experience. And that's really what we try to look for. You know, we've given back a lot of money this year, and it is something that, you know, I've been asked a lot, are we going to change policies? Are we going to do anything different? No, we are not. Some of you have vouchers, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about that at the end, what you can do with those. But for the most part, you never have to worry. You know, we are still very strong financially. We've done a great job of continuing to be debt-free throughout this process so that we can deliver that money back to you so you never have to worry. And I know that's on a lot of people's minds. Which we'll address towards the end. All right, we're going to jump into exploring Greece and its islands. We have 15 days, 22 meals with some choice on tour. I can tell you, I came back from this destination in April and I was blown away. I never really liked Greek food until I went to Greece, and then I fell in love with it. So we have the overnight flight. We're going to get 2 nights in Athens. We're going to get 1 night in Kalimbaka. We're going to continue down south. We're going to get 2 nights in Olympia, 2 nights in Mykonos, 3 on Santorini, and then we finish up in Athens. And I can tell you, you know, for me, this is such an encompassing tour that we're really going to have the opportunity to see different aspects of it. After traveling there, there is so much outside of just Santorini and Mykonos and Athens. It truly is a spectacular tour, and we're really excited. So we'll get started. You have that overnight flight as you arrive in. We're going to get started with that welcome dinner in one of the local restaurants. The opportunity to actually eat at this restaurant here in the Plaka district. There was dancing, there was singing, there were people walking up and down the alleys. There was so much entertainment and excitement just as a whole in this country. And the food is phenomenal throughout this tour. One of the local restaurants, it is some of the freshest food that you're ever going to have. Before going, I honestly can say I didn't love a Greek salad. Coming back, I get one every week now. I'm obsessed with it. So day 3, we'll get started. We'll have a panoramic tour. You're going to have the opportunity to kind of learn a little bit about the Temple of Zeus, the Parliament, of course, the Olympic Stadium. So much on tour that part of the pacing that we really want to work in is choice on tour. And so what choice on tour means, it's already included. You just choose what you want to do that day. So you can have the incredible, obviously, my favorite part being that I have a history minor, Acropolis tour, where we actually get to walk up to the top. We have a local guide walking us through a lot of the history behind that. And of course, it is, you know, on the top of the mountain as you're looking over the city, unbelievable views. Or if you're interested, we have an Athens hidden gem tour where you'll have the flexibility to kind of roam around with a local guide and take you to from behind the scenes, some of the hidden gems that a lot of people don't talk about. And then later that evening, we do have a pre-sold option if you're interested in an Athens local food tour. Traveling is all about that culinary experience, as I mentioned, but we want to make sure that you get the flexibility to do that. Here you can see that you're going to have an opportunity to roam around a few different restaurants. We stop in a market. You're going to have the ability to kind of learn more about the flavors and try some of that out. The following day, we're going to travel north and we're going to head over to Thermopylae. And here you're going to get to see Leonidas, and who is all famous outside of the movie 300, of course, for defending his country, a true Spartan hero, taking on the Persians right here in the Rock of Towers, if you will. But we have the statue outside of that. And one of the things throughout this tour that never stopped for me was the history behind it. You know, I kind of call United States, we're the kind of the teenagers of the world. We think we have history. We kind of think we've seen and know it all. But until you're standing in some of these destinations in these areas, you really don't understand the history behind it. And so for me, that's one of my favorite things. We're going to head over to one of the oldest monasteries in all of Europe, learn a little bit about their day-to-day life. And then we're going to end our afternoon. You can see some of the unbelievable shots. Don't worry, we're not going to make you climb those mountains. We're going to take you right up to the top. So you have these unbelievable views. But we're going to finish off our evening a family-owned tavern where you'll have the opportunity to savor some of the recipes that have been passed down by generations. Again, I can't talk enough about the food, how fresh, how clean. This might be the only tour in the history of Colette. I think I might have actually lost a pound or two because the food was so fresh and clean. Then the following day, we're going to have the opportunity to visit a local studio to actually see some of the painters' work and learn a little bit about some of Greece's most important center and religious aspects during the classical times. Arriving here in Delphi, beautiful area amongst the mountains. You can see the history behind it. We're going to have a local guide walk us through there. And of course, on all of our tour, we're going to have those whisper headsets. So you have the ability to walk around, take off your mask, spread your wings a little bit, enjoy your social distancing, but not miss out on any of the history behind that. Of course, the sanctuary of Apollo, where this is, where they would meet. You have the oracle who consulted to foretell the destiny of man here. People from all over Greece would come to spend their time with the oracle and learn a little bit about the history and what their fate was to come. Of course, you can see the Delphi Theater, one of the oldest. It really is an example of the architecture, the artifacts, but also the wisdom of how to build in a theater that would still have the acoustics to put on speeches, plays, and so many more. Following that, we're going to travel, have the opportunity to kind of travel along to Arakova. And Arakova is one of those unique stops along the Gulf there, beautiful, just outside the Gulf of Corinth. And the thing is it's not just Mykonos and Santorini. There's so many islands in the area. So everywhere you are traveling to, it's just beauty upon beauty. As I mentioned previously, the people are unbelievable at each stop. It really is the Greek civilization, the history behind it, and how welcoming the people are around here. We're going to get the opportunity to visit a local farm and really learn and get to know the owners on a one-to-one level of what it's like on a daily basis here at Olympia Farm. And, following the tour, we're not just going to feed you out here. We're going to have lunch. You're going to get an olive oil tasting at the local farm. But we're also going to slide in and give you a little wine tasting as well. Throughout the tour, you'll notice that is a theme. But one of my favorite stops on here is the olive oil because you learn kind of the history behind it, but some of those homemade jams and some of the sweets as well. And then we're going to visit ancient Olympia. We'll have a local guide really take us into the sanctuary of Zeus and the Olympic Stadium. And the Olympic Games were held here in 776 BC. Just to give you some perspective, we also have the opportunity to see the museum, and we'll learn a little bit about the region. Each part of Greece has kind of a unique region to it from a culinary experience. And so we want to make sure and get you involved with that. Today, we have a cooking experience. As I mentioned previously, there's no better way to immerse yourself in the culture than eating and doing as the locals do. I actually found out on this tour that it is not Italy that created pizza, it is the Greeks. And so you'll learn a little bit about that. We get to partake in a Mediterranean cooking experience, actually followed by a traditional Greek lunch. And then this evening, we get to kind of broaden our knowledge a little bit of some of the traditional Greek music and instruments, as we'll have a folkloric dance with some of the Greek dances to put on a show for us. Following that, we're going to head out to the Arcadian Mountains, and we'll have the opportunity to see, some of the excavations and, of course, the very famous beehive tombs, which we'll not just drive by and see. We'll have the opportunity to go in, walk throughout. We'll have the local guide take us in there, give us a little bit more history. You'll have the opportunity to see the Lion's Gate. And then we end our day at an unbelievable resort right here on Nauplia. Beautiful beaches all along here, the beautiful coastline. And the thing that I love about this tour is we're going at the perfect time where it's not too hot. People are leaving for the summer. They're kind of going on about their way. And so we're going to have the opportunity to visit at one of the best times of the year, if you ask me, and stay at this beautiful seaside resort. Following day, we're going to have an opportunity to head out on a ferry ride to Mykonos. We take a little 2-hour ferry ride, very smooth, fantastic as we head over. And of course, we get to arrive in the beautiful Mykonos island across the Aegean Sea. Spectacular. I fell in love with Mykonos as a whole. The whitewashed buildings, you have the blue tops to it throughout. And these are the areas for me, it's not even learning about the history. This is the area where you go get lost down these alleyways. Everywhere you turn, there's shopping, there's restaurants, so many different things to do. We'll have a guide walk us through there. You have the ability to walk down into the downtown area of Mykonos with the water all surrounding you. And as I said, just get lost down the alleys. I know for me, I pulled up, I may have had a cocktail or two looking out. And as my wife asked me what my favorite aspect was, and it really was for me, just sitting and enjoying people watching and taking in the unbelievable scenery all around me. We'll get a little bit of time to explore in Mykonos before we head over to Santorini. Again, Santorini, one of those beautiful areas. I kind of say Mykonos is more for the shopping and the entertainment. And Santorini is more about the beauty. So you're going to have the opportunity to take a step back. We are going to get to go and tour on a little bit of a unique area that a lot of people don't get to spend too much time in. And we're going to have a little bit of an experience where you'll have an optional excursion if you would like, but we're going to get a cooking experience right there and learn a little bit about the history behind the Easter, the Greek history with Easter, which is very unique tradition. We have a local guide kind of teach you behind that. And we're going to get to see one of the oldest civilizations. And this was actually very similar to what most people have learned about in Italy with an explosion and eruption of a volcano, which really maintained the civilization. And so this is kind of one of those hidden gems that it is still very much as it was found. And so if you are an archaeologist and love history, this is where you get to take a step back in time. We're going to spend time walking through it. Then we're going to head over to Oya, which is beautiful. Walking through, this is where you're going to do your shopping, that retail therapy that we like to talk about. Before we head back, we're going to visit a vineyard that overlooks the cliffs as you're looking down. Beautiful views. We're going to have the opportunity to have a little bit of a wine tasting with some snacks. And it was amazing because you can see off in the distance there's a cruise ship, but you are sitting right on the cliffs overlooking. That is just absolutely spectacular. We'll give you some free time to enjoy Santorini on your own as you walk around in the area. Again, great opportunity to do some of that shopping and really take in Santorini for all that it is. We will have a farewell dinner this evening where you'll have the ability to toast to a truly magical experience, some of the freshest, cleanest food that you're ever going to have. Greece was the #1 trending destination at Colette in 2020 before COVID hit. So I can tell you without a doubt, for the price, everything that is included, the ferry ride, land, air, taxes, you're never going to get a better experience. And this was me, just to prove I was there, right outside of the vineyard where we had to take a picture. So you can book now, save $200. Your deposit is $999. That includes your waiver, which is 100% refundable up until March 10th. The only thing that you lose after March 10th is the cost of the insurance. Your final payment will be due on July 10th, making your total cost, land, air, taxes, $5,949. Again, the great thing about working with Colette, you never have to worry about your money. You can cancel up until 24 hours before you depart and receive a full cash refund. If you do have a voucher and you opted for a voucher when we had to cancel a couple of tours, feel free to utilize that on any of our tours. We have removed any of the expiration date as well as any of the loyalty points that you had from 2019. We have rolled over into 2021, which we'll take off of your final balance. Following tour, we're going to head into Ottoman, Vermont, which is 7 days, 10 meals. Whenever I was a rep in Oklahoma and Arkansas, I had the opportunity to be offered a phenomenal promotion, which is the Northeast Director of Sales. So the wife and I, we packed up the kids, we headed out, and we moved to the Northeast, and we had the opportunity to live in Massachusetts. I used to laugh a lot because this was a tour that I sold about the fall foliage and how beautiful it was, and never really getting the opportunity to see it. When I started working the area, I specifically scheduled myself every fall with my rep who covered Maine, New Hampshire, and Vermont because I was truly blown away by the colors, how bright they were. Everything that I had thought it was more. And so this really is one of my favorite tours because it's kind of like my backyard after living there. I really fell in love with it. And we put a little bit of a unique spin on this tour as we're really focusing on Vermont. So many people travel to this area and they spend so much time in New Hampshire and Maine that they forget about Vermont. So we wanted to spend a little bit of time here in the unique part, which is Vermont. We're going to fly into Boston. We're going to get 3 nights in Burlington, and we're going to get 2 nights in Ludlow. So the thing I love about it, only 3 hotels. So there's not a ton of packing and unpacking. And of course, the best gateway flying in and out of Boston. And on any of our tours, you're welcome to go in early or stay a little bit later. So we'll arrive in Boston. You'll have the opportunity to kind of get your tour started as we welcome everybody to the unbelievable and very unique city that is Boston. And so here you'll have a little bit of free time. We'll overnight in Boston, which is truly one of America's oldest cities. And then the following day, we're going to start our morning with truly some of the most magical colors that you're going to see as we drive to Vermont. Couple hour drive as we get up to Vermont, you're going to see some of the unbelievable quaint villages, the old steeples, which you can see here. I love the wood covered bridges that are all throughout this area. You hear so many things about the history behind it, and until you're living it and seeing it, it just blew me away traveling through. Of course, Keechee Gorge, which is one of the largest gorges in the Northeast, dropping below 1,300 feet, just spectacular views. You can really see throughout, the colors just explode with all kinds of different colors. Then we get to stay in Burlington, which is a very unique little town. You can see here the brick-covered streets, as we'll have the opportunity to learn a little bit about the history behind it. And then traveling in, we're going to have that welcome dinner at one of the local restaurants, getting to know your travel companions a little bit better, and get to know your tour manager. And I can promise you the tour managers are all from this region, and they are going to have so many different stories to tell you. The people in New England have a passion for that part of the country. If you can understand that they don't pronounce their R's, then you're good to go. So if it's an R at the end of the word, it's going to be an A. And if it's in the middle of it, then, who knows what they're going to do. But if you can get past that part, you'll have a great time. Following day, we're going to head over to Shelburne Museum. And here you're going to get to kind of take a step back in time. We will have a local guide kind of take us through some of the buildings and the gardens, as well as the beautiful galleries that are here in this area. It's spread out over 39 different buildings. So we'll learn a little bit about that and kind of the reemergence of this region. Throughout the tour, you're going to see that Vermont has a unique mix of kind of live music. You have farmers, and you kind of have what I like to call the people who like to disappear into the mountains. And so you have a very unique, eclectic group of people. We'll have the opportunity to learn and see a little bit about that. We're going to have a fantabulous Yankee pot roast meal. One of my favorite meals is pot roast with all the veggies. Again, very fresh and clean in Vermont. A lot of the food is homegrown here. It is very much farm to table. So we'll get to experience that after a long day and get a true taste of some of that local flavor here. And you will have to harvest some of those vegetables. And let's not forget about the fantastic cheeses. Following day, we're going to get to venture kind of the western side of Lake Champlain and kind of head into the Adirondack region. So, the Adirondacks are very much a part of the New York history. This is kind of where Vermont and New York get to meet. And so here you're going to learn a little bit about that. We'll have the opportunity to see some of the twisting ravines, some of those rocky cliffs that hang off. And then you're going to have a choice on tour. So again, choice on tour is already included. So there's no additional cost. You just choose what you do that day. And so you can see the 18th century artillery collection if you're interested in that. We'll kind of talk lining those outer walls that really was a custom for the British soldiers, and that's what you're going to learn about. Or you can take kind of a leisurely hike if you're interested in the battlefield. And so whichever one you want to do, we'll learn a little bit about the historic trade shops or the battlefield, depending on what you want to do. Both are included. Like I said, you just choose what you do that day. And then following that, we're going to kind of head out and pass through some cozy towns on our way over to Ruff's Orchard, which is a family-owned farm opened in 1952. And the farm kind of provides tasty treats to satisfy some of those sweet tooths. For me, I love the freshly baked cider donuts coming out, kind of that hot, unbelievable flavor. So we'll give you a little bit about that before we cross back into Vermont, which we actually take by a ferry ride through Lake Champlain, giving you kind of a different view of the mountains. So you've had the motor coach through the mountains. Now you're going to get to experience it from Lake Champlain as we kind of head back, some of that freshwater lake experience. We're also going to get a taste of the national favorite the following day, Ben and Jerry's Ice Cream Factory. This is one of those, if you're the right person and have the right personality and catch the right person, who knows, they may even name an ice cream after you. This is always one of everybody's favorite stops as we learn a little bit about Ben and Jerry's. as well as the retired ice creams that they put to the graveyard. And so you'll learn a little bit about that before we head along Route 100, which, as I talked about, this is really for the Vermonters. They call the Mad River Valley, some of the fiber mills, the sculpture galleries, some of those wood covered bridges, but you can see the mountains, the colors, and the rolling hills never stop. And the reds and the purples just jump off. It's unbelievable. We'll then arrive and have the opportunity to have fantastic homemade pizza from the American Flatbread Company, kind of that wood fire grill right here into the mountains. Before the following day, we're going to head over to Lincoln Gap Bridge. Again, those wood covered bridges, and come into the mountain region. And you can see that it is very well known for the Green Mountain State because of some of the areas. During certain peaks, you can see the snow-capped mountains, these luscious green valleys, and these unbelievable colors throughout the tour. And so for me, it gives you kind of a little bit of everything. You talk about that when you go to New Zealand. Certain areas, you're in these luscious green valleys and snow-peaked mountains and all of these different things. Vermont really does kind of give you the aspect of that. I've had the opportunity to spend a lot of time in Vermont, and it is one of my favorite areas. But you have to kind of get settled into the region, some of the striking landscapes. And as I mentioned, so many people don't have the opportunity to actually go into Vermont. And then we're going to make our way over to Hildene Historic Home, which is the Lincoln family home and former residence of Robert Todd Lincoln, which was the past chairman of the Pullman Company and the son of Abraham and Mary. And so we'll get to discover the 412-acre estate. Really is an impressive home, has some beautiful gardens, and enjoy a little leisure time here before we arrive in Manchester. And kind of take in the popular outlet stores, very unique boutique shops in some of the areas. This is actually where my rep lived for a while. And so every time I would go up and work with him, I'd get the opportunity to learn a little bit more history behind Vermont. Here you can see the Vermont Country Store, which is the 7th and 8th generation Vermonters who have been coming here for all this time. We'll wish the colorful autumn landscapes goodbye as we truly have a magical farewell dinner. Here you can see the seared salmon farewell dinner, some of the freshest, cleanest seafood you're ever going to have. And so we'll toast to a fabulous trip here before we head back. As always, you can book early and save your $50. Deposit is $8.99, which is 100% refundable up until April 17th. After April 17th, the only thing that you lose is the cost of the insurance. Our deposits and everything is always 100% refundable. Your final payment will be due on August 17th, making your total price, land, air, taxes, $3,338. And as I said previously, if you have any of the vouchers, you can apply those to any of the tours that we're talking about today. And one of the things that I wanted to mention is, Greece, getting into the international travel. I want everybody to know that on our website and our traffic, the top 10 destinations that are still trending that people are researching is international travel. We are excited for it. There's going to be protocols set in place. And as always, you can book with us with no risk. And so I want to thank everybody for joining us today. I'm going to throw it back to Lanny as I unshare here and turn it back over to him because I think he has another tour to talk to us about.
Okay, it's Kimberly. So I am going to be taking over again, and maybe Lanny will come in a little bit later on or something. Good job, Kenny, and good to meet you in face-to-face. Okay, yes, we do have another one, guys. We are going to wrap up so amazingly, and as soon as I can, this is a new program for me, so I am trying to find where I am supposed to be right now. Here we go. I think this is it. So bear with me, guys. Here we go. Okay. All right. Here we are. Yay! All right. I made it. All right. So here we are. We are going to pack our bags and get ready to go to Montreal and Quebec City Christmas markets. What a way to cap off the 2021 year that's going to be full of fabulous travel, right? I mean, we've taken a full year of travel off, and so let's get back into it. With your vouchers, go ahead and book, 2, 3, maybe 5 tours or something. Why not? But anyways, we are going to cap it off with a fabulous Christmas market. Now, again, because some of us may not be able to get overseas, we are bringing a little bit of international flair to you. Now, if I can hurry up, there we go. Again, I'm still trying to learn this. All right, so December 2nd through the 6th of 2021, we are headed to this area. So we're going to pack our bags. Now, we are going to go into Montreal, but we're going to fly out of Quebec City. Here are some of the highlights right there. I'm going to get right into it. The main things is you want some breakfast, right? You want your breakfast, you want your dinners. We are going to include 6 meals on this tour. But you know what? Let's just get right on into it. The main attractions on this tour are your hotels. We are going 5-star to cap off the year 2021 with you guys. Fairmont Properties, again, 5 stars, fabulous, 2 huge highlights. The global chain of luxury hotels that is Fairmont, they grew from 5-star status from 2 hotels back when in the late 19th century. Of course, they were owned by the Canadian Pacific Hotels, and then it was 2 hotels, actually, the Canadian Pacific Hotels and Fairmont. Well, now they've all gone under one umbrella, and they are all one Fairmont. And so we are going to be getting into, first up, the Queen Elizabeth in Montreal. Now, this is the city's premier address. Everybody wants to be here, absolutely. And you will be there on December 2nd to wrap up your 2021 year. All right, so this hotel sets the gold level standard for their pampered guests, of course. Now look at that. Now, their pampered guests love to take their respite in luxury, right? Now, this hotel kind of has that 60s mob vibe, that 60s mob interior, from their rooms to their common places or the common areas. It's that 60s modern vibe to it. The rooms are chic. And the gastronomy, which is food, but of course they're chic and they're she, so they call it gastronomy. It's the best in Montreal. I mean, take a look at that, ladies and gentlemen. This is just fantastic and fabulous. The hotel was built by the Canadian National Railway, and it's connected to the Central Station and the Underground City. Now, the Underground City is going to be on the city tour, but you won't have to leave the hotel for shopping or restaurants, and that's going to be a godsend, quite honestly, because when you see these temperatures, you're going to be thankful that we put you in the Fairmont for sure. You're going to walk the same hallways as famous guests from yesteryear, like Queen Elizabeth II stayed here, Princess Grace of Monaco stayed here, Henry Kissinger, Perry Como, Joan Crawford. The list just goes on and on. Now, here's something really cool. The hotel reached worldwide fame when John Lennon and Yoko Ono had their famous bed-in, sort of like a sit-in, but it's a bed-in for 8 days. They holed up in room 1742 to protest against war in 1969. Now, while here, they wrote their famous song, Give Peace a Chance. So there's a little bit of history there for you. You can certainly visit that 42 hotel room. All right, so welcome to Montreal, where French joie de vivre and North American lifestyle just come to life right here, right? You're going to see European flair with the charming cobblestone streets, the outdoor cafes, and even visit the Notre Dame Cathedral. Oh, and this is fabulous. Some of you folks who just love to see stained glass windows. This regal neo-Gothic building is one of the most visited tourist attractions in Old Montreal. And it's the city's oldest church. And inside, again, you've got those stained glass windows and ornate wood. Now, the majestic sight to behold is the 7,000 pipe organ that's hand carved there at the pulpit. So definitely go take a look at that for sure. We're also going to take you to St. Joseph's Oratory. You'll check that out. It's a Roman Catholic minor basilica and a national shrine. It's Canada's largest church. It actually has one of the largest domes in the world. You'll go inside and you'll check it out. The oratory has the highest building. It is the highest building in Montreal, allowing it to be seen from miles away. Now, it has actually broken a little bit of laws as far as how high a building can go, but they're not going to tell them anything. But just so you know, they've broken some laws there. Then you're going to head to Mont Royal for a fine vantage point over all of Montreal. Ladies and gentlemen, this is where you're going to want to get those city sky view pictures of snapshots that you want of your skyline here of Montreal. Majestically rising up in the middle of the city is Mont Royal, and it's a symbol of the city's heritage. I'll tell you a little bit more about that here in a bit. And it's a 4-season playground. So even in December, this is going to look fabulous. Can you just see it with some of the snow-capped buildings and a little dusting on the grounds? It's going to be so fantastic to see. Inaugurated in 1876, Mount Royal Park was designed by the same person who designed Central Park in New York City. Again, a little trivia. And of course, we are here for the Christmas markets, right? So let's amp up the holiday spirit at one of Montreal's many Christmas markets. So from toys to the decor items to the wall art, everything, you're going to find it all here in these wooden kiosks here in Montreal. Again, just a slight dusting of some of the snow, but it's going to make Christmas for you, right? You'll be able to find the perfect present for anybody on that list. Plenty of homemade sweets also, which I tell you what, this would probably be a tour that I would gain some weight, Kenny. Not lose it, I'd gain some weight. The homemade sweets, the treats, the special treasures, the market's 50 cottages of the creations. Oh, this is going to be so fantastic to wrap up 2021. So make the most of the snow and the Christmas glow of the Montreal markets. And then one morning, you're going to board the Via Rail. Now, of course, we could take you by coach to go to Quebec City, but why not go by train, right? Just make it that much more of an experience on this tour. Yes, I mean, this is a present to you, right? This is going to be a present to others. You may want to bring your family on this tour. Why not? Let's spend Christmas up north. But you're going to board the Via Rail Canada for a scenic and relaxing train ride to the Paris of North America, which is Quebec City. And your home for the next couple of nights stands tall, high on a bluff, overlooking the St. Lawrence River, the grandiose, the iconic, the Chateau Frontenac. Wow. I mean, I'm just going to leave it here for a little bit, right? The Fairmont Chateau Frontenac Hotel. It's a 5-star Fairmont hotel or property, and it's one of the most romantic settings around the world. It's visible from miles away. People love to come here. It was opened up in 1893, and it's got a chateau-esque, of course, style building. It's got 18 floors here. I mean, look at that. At Christmas time, you're going to have your hallways just dotted with all the tinsel, all the trees, all the Christmas Yuletide that you could possibly muster. It's even got some phenomenal suites. Now, here's something really cool. Off of Christmas, real quick, some of the suites, a couple of the suites, there's one that's dedicated to Alfred Hitchcock, right? I mean, why? Well, here's why. He actually directed a film, or the film, I confess, here at the hotel. So that's why there's a suite dedicated to him. And of course, their prized possession, Celine Dion. There is a suite dedicated to her as well. But regardless of the entirety of this lavish, I mean, look at that. This lavish hotel will be just the full enchantment of Christmas time with the trees and just the warm feel that you're going to have here. It's just going to muster thoughts of just being in really overseas, quite honestly. I mean, this is a place that's going to mix French and an American style or North American style here. It's going to be so fantastic. Now, with the atmosphere being a little understated, you're certainly going to get into that holiday spirit, like I was just saying. So in your leisure time, definitely explore, explore, explore. There's plenty to explore here at the Chateau Frontenac, and especially go up to if they'll let you, go up to the rooftop garden while you're there in December, because they actually have 4 queen honeybees and 70,000 bees that make their own honey there on property. I know, I didn't even know that either, but I called today and I'm like, what's something unique? And they're like, well, we've got queen bees. Of course you do. You're the Chateau Frontenac. But definitely go down into old Quebec City and walk along the cobblestone streets. I mean, as soon as you get here, you'll already be welled up with Christmas spirit anyhow from Montreal, but it's just going to go 10 times up when you're here in Quebec City. I mean, look at all of that just pomp and circumstance for the Christmas time, right? All these trees just lining the streets. It's going to be fabulous. It's going to be the way you would want to spend Christmas. Now, of course, we also got to take you sightseeing, right? So in the city, you are going to be just amazed at your city tour, and you'll understand exactly why this is North America's only walled city. Now, why is it a walled city? Well, it has to do with the British and French armies doing battle back in 1759. Today, those battlegrounds and the Plains of Abraham, which that's what they were called, they represent harmony and beauty, and Quebec City is, again, North America's only walled city. So this is a really cool thing to bring back home also once our guide tells you a little bit more about that battle and you get to explore a little bit more of why it is the walled city. And this is really cool. So the neat thing about Premier World Discovery is we like to throw in something unique and unusual. And that's what this is. It's a copper museum. Now you say, why copper museum, right? Well, because it can make some amazing art creations. Now, docents are going to take you through a recreated copper mine, okay? Let me say that again. Docents will take you through a recreated copper mine. So you get an education on the process of mining copper ore, like how it's extracted and how you take copper and how it was used throughout history. And then you'll see how they're able to create it into something just fabulous. Now here you're going to see, go into the Hall of Jesus, okay, the museum Hall of Jesus. They have 50 panels of copper that depict the life of Jesus Christ. And it took them 15 years to complete, but you see the entirety of his life depicted in these copper creations. Again, it's fabulous. It's kind of that, oh, this is kind of cool. I didn't know that something like this existed. That's what Premier World Discovery does for you. But then you're going to be swept away. Okay, so ordinarily this should be waterfalls, right? But again, we want to show you something different. Now, these are falls that they rival Niagara, first off. They rival Niagara when they're actually running. But the Chutes of Montmorency is what they're called. They're higher than the legendary Niagara Falls. And it's going to be something unusual for you to go on the suspension bridge and just look down at the artistic ice sculptures. You know, the labyrinth of ice crystals that you'll get to see and realize, oh my gosh, this would actually be running water, right? You might even see, a climber or two, an ice climber or two, right? Nevertheless, it's a sight to completely behold, ladies and gentlemen, because are we ever going to see this in Texas, especially in December when we're still wearing shorts half the time? No, this is going to be so fantastic and just a wonderful way to cap off 2021 and to really get into that, again, Christmas spirit and have snow all around you. And then, of course, like I said, throughout all of our tours with Premier World Discovery, we are going to be giving you a little taste of international flair. That way you don't have to go too far, right? You can feel safe staying nearby. So in the Christmas markets here in Quebec City, they take on more of a German Christmas market. So Old Quebec brings the magic of a big European market here to you December 2nd at the end of the year. And it's a month-long celebration that you get to experience straight off, right? So it starts at the beginning of December and goes through, but you get to experience it, December 2nd, right? And nothing will be picked over, right? So that'll be fantastic. It's going to quench that Christmas spirit for you. I mean, come on, it just looks like a place that you would want to it's like a Christmas card, really. It's like a Christmas card right there. And I feel like you could just imagine yourself roaming the cobblestone streets here and taking in all of the wooden kiosks and with a little bit of snow at your feet, hearing the Christmas carols going, some in French probably also, and then just sampling some of the ciders, keeping bundled up and warm. Make sure you pack those big coats, of course. This is going to be no better place to celebrate the season. And it's the type of holiday, let me go back, that you would see in the movies. So why not take this opportunity to make your own movie magic and your own movie memories and come here to Quebec City on our tour? Again, bundle up, bring the big heavy coats and the snowshoes because this tour is going to be, you know what? This tour would impress even the most discerning traveler, a traveler that knows, that's been there, that's done that, the Lannys of the world who have been 45 countries. It would impress him. It has impressed him already. So this is such a fantastic tour, ladies and gentlemen, and you're going to have so many memories on the Montreal Quebec City Christmas Markets tour. Now, the only bad weather is the weather that you're not prepared for. Once again, you're looking at December. Yes, it is cold, but that's what you expect for Christmas, right? The cool thing, Texans, is that you can go up, but you get to come back down to Texas to where it's a lot warmer. So, going through 5 days with temperatures in the 30s, no problem. Again, movie magic Christmas here. So again, it's 5 days, 4 nights in 5-star hotels here at the Montreal Quebec City Christmas Markets, departing December 2nd through the 6th of 2021. A nice cap to your year. Your regular rate, $29.60, but go ahead, sign up within 3 days and you get that $200 off to make it $27.60. Fantastic booking discount to be had. And again, signing up within 3 days, you get that risk-free deposit. So instead of a deposit that's $300, it's only $150, guys. And that's because you're right here listening to us right now. Anybody else who signs up has to pay the $300, but nope, you are listening to us. You're on this webinar, and so you get the perks. Again, you have to sign up by Thursday, October 29th of this year, so this week. And you have the risk-free deposit up until final payment, which for this one is due to September 18th. You got plenty of time to decide what you want to do, but go ahead and sign up right away. Now, again, you're going to have your travel protection plan rolled into that cost, along with your round trip airfare, and that travel protection is going to protect you prior to departing, and of course during the tour as well. This is peace of mind, ladies and gentlemen. This is something that Lee College wanted for you, so they rolled it into the overall price. All right, so once again, our 3 perks: 50 off the deposit amount straight off, just because you are here on this webinar. Register within 3 days before the end of business Thursday, and you're gonna get all these perks. Deposit fully refundable until the final payment, and then of course the double booking discount. Instead of just $100, it'll be $200 off of the flyer price. Now, these are fantastic perks and specials for you to take advantage of, and feel a sigh of relief of going ahead and booking your deposit or getting your deposit in right away. So how do you sign up? Well, of course, it's the Virtual Travel Showcase Specials. Here you go. What we need you to do is go ahead and contact Premier World Discovery at this 800 number. You're going to talk to Melissa Grant. Okay, I'm going to leave this up here so that you can take note of this. Take note of the 800 number. And then write down Melissa Grant, or take a picture real quick with your handy dandy phone. Just a quick snapshot. Now, if you want to go ahead and do it on your own and not have to talk to somebody, then you can log on to res.premierworlddiscovery.com and make sure you take note of these web codes right here, because that is going to let us know on our end which tour you're going to, which tour or all of them that you're going to book. Again, we've got national parks and canes of the Southwest, the Black Hills Badlands, the Legends of the West, the Colorado Rockies, and then of course, capping it off with the Christmas markets. Lee College did such a great job of picking some phenomenal tours for 2021. Also, those of y'all who do have your vouchers, no worries, you can call in to Melissa Grant and let her know which tour you want to put your voucher towards, and she will be able to go ahead and do that for you. So this is going to be fantastic. 2021 is going to be a bang up year. It's going to be awesome, and it's going to be full of travel. Lynn, I'm going to send it back to you. I'm just so excited. Can we go now?
Yes. Yeah.
Let's do it.
Okay, so hi, I'm back. I did want to show you that all of these hard copies will be available in our office or online, starting with National Parks and Canyons of the Southwest, Black Hills, Badlands, and Legends of the West, Colorado Rockies, Rails, and Western National Parks, exploring Greece and its islands, autumn in Vermont, and ending the year with Montreal and Quebec City Christmas markets. I did want to make a comment that many, many years ago, 70 people went with me to the Christmas markets in Germany, which was fun, excellent trip, but this is close by, so this will be really good. Then Vermont, oh my goodness, we have been to that area 4 or 5 times over the last 30 years, but never to Vermont and put that exclamation point on fall colors. So those are kind of the ones that I'm looking at really a lot for this year. And then I did mention to some of you that have never traveled with Lee College before, I do personally escort you. So there will be a professional tour guide / tour manager from Colette and from Premier World Discovery, but I will also be with you in case there are any problems, anything in the background that I need to help you with. It's just the best job in the world, and I've totally enjoyed it. I'm getting a little older now, so we'll see how long this lasts, but I'm really loving it this year. And I did want to tell you, I know that the protocols for COVID are something that we need to think about. And boy, all of these vendors have really thought about it, as has Lee College. So as the dates approach for our pre-tour meetings and our documents meetings, we will also alert you to what the protocols are at the college and make sure that you are safe when you get here, just like all of us want to be. I think before I turn it back over to, let's see, I have some questions for Lanny, but I do know that Kenny was not able to talk about registering the way Kimberly did. So Kenny, would you do that, please?
Yeah, if you go to the Lee College website, at the bottom of each of those, you'll be able to click up to sign now. So sign up now, it'll take you directly to the website to online register. Or there is a form on there, of course, with any of the brochures that Lynn was talking about that you can fill out if you go in and get one of the hard copies. Or you can call into Colette, and the generic number is on there, and just reference the booking number for either Exploring Greece and its Islands and or the Autumn in Vermont, which will be on the register. The easiest way is that online res form. You don't have to leave your house. We know there's weather and cooling off. We don't like cold weather around here. So if you want to stay home and book online, you can do that. And I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight.
Okay. And Lanny, we just have a couple questions for you.
Sure.
Are there any dress codes on tour?
No, there's on these tours that we're promoting here tonight, no dress codes, very, very just comfortable, casual clothes. You have a great time.
And Kenny, you agree with that? You want us to dress casual?
Absolutely. Always wear comfortable shoes, dress for the weather, especially in Greece. It's going to be phenomenal weather. So we want shorts and polos and looking as comfortable as possible, but make sure and wear those comfortable shoes.
Okay. And we'll answer more questions tomorrow too, but one question for both of you. When do I get my travel documents now that they are going to be mailed direct to our client's home versus getting them at the college? Lanny, when would they be mailed?
It's usually around 14 to 17 days before departure.
Okay, that's very good. And Kenny?
Yeah, ours is 14 to 21 days as well, and we'll mail them directly to you just like them. Yep.
Okay, great. And so I'm now going to turn it over to Dana.
Thanks, Lynn.
Thank you, Lanny. Thank you, Kimberly. Thank you, Kenny.
Thank you, everyone. This has been an amazing reminder of just how much we all love and miss traveling. I should have eaten before watching this tonight because everywhere you went, my mouth was watering, and the hot cider donuts in Vermont and the Greek food, and oh, it just all looked so amazing. So we covered a tremendous amount of ground. And if you would like to review all this information that our partners covered, you can go to the Lee College website at www.lee.edu and search travel. And then you choose the Senior Classes and Travel program. Each tour will be featured. There are videos, there are photos, the brochures are online. Everything we did as much as we possibly could this year to make all of this information available to you virtually. And of course, as was mentioned, you can register right online, and we encourage that. It's very simple, and if you have any questions at all, we here at Lee are always here to help you. You can reach us either by email, which is at workforce@lee.edu. You can call us here at the Workforce Center, which we're located at 909 Decker. Our number is 281-425-6311. And if you'd like to come in and talk to us, you're certainly welcome to do that. We encourage you to call that number again, 281-425-6311, and make an appointment. Because of COVID, we are working remotely and we are slowly coming back into the center. So our hours are limited, and the number of people we can have in the center is also limited. So we really encourage you to call. We would love to see you. We have the brochures here as well, so you can come in and get those. And I think that we've covered a lot tonight. And tomorrow night, we still have 6 more amazing tours to explore. Those are our trips for 2022. And I don't want you to miss it because we have some tours that are once in a lifetime opportunities. So to watch, follow the same link you used tonight. We'll be here, the same place, same time, 6 o'clock, 6 to 8. I wish all of you a wonderful evening, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Thank you so much, and I'll see you soon. Good night.